Now it's time for a business spotlight. This is the Adelaide Project.
Hello and welcome to the Adelaide Project Business Spotlight, brought to you by podcastcity.com.au. If you're looking for a way to engage your audience with your amazing content, then you need to talk to them about producing, recording, editing, videoing and distributing your very own podcast. Just go to podcastcity.com.au. I'm Ron Fiedler and it's time for a new episode of the Adelaide Project Business Spotlight podcast and radio show. I want you to go back in time and imagine a world without air conditioning. Imagine a world where you need to start a fire to heat your home. Cooling and heating have changed our lives. It's hard to imagine life without these modern conveniences. They have become an essential part of our daily lives, from keeping us comfortable and healthy to improving our productivity and sleep. Air conditioning and heating have had a profound impact on our quality of life. In this episode, we're going to look at some of the technology, the products that are available that you can use in your homes and workplaces. Joining us on the program today is Filip Krawiec, the founder of REQ. Filip is an expert in air conditioning and refrigeration. Filip started the company with a simple mission to ensure that quality air conditioning is available to everyone. Since then, REQ has grown into a thriving business, and Filip's expertise has helped countless people stay cool and comfortable. Filip is renowned for his dedication to his work and his community. When it comes to air conditioning, he's the man to call. Joining us on the program is Filip. Filip, welcome to the Adelaide Project.
Hey, everyone.
It's great to have you on. Look, I've been through your website and, really impressed. You've got a lot of services there and you deal with a lot of different products. Filip, tell us a little bit about your business. When did you start and what made you get into the air conditioning industry?
So I started I couldn't really tell you. I think it was probably 2010 when I started my apprenticeship with a different company, and I stayed there for a good 7 to 8 years, which was predominantly just in industrial refrigeration, very different to what we do now. And then I decided to start my own business, just wanted to change and have a go at starting my own thing, and started that in 2020.
Yep.
And with the idea of producing quality air conditioning for people, which from my industrial background has brought a lot of knowledge and experience that you won't find with most aircon companies.
Yeah.
As I have just this experience to work around situations or find solutions for problems that other people might deem not possible. So that's where a lot of it started. We were finding solutions for people's homes in air conditioning where a lot of people say, oh, you can't do this or this won't work. We turn around and go, no, we can make something happen. And that kind of just got our name out there that we'll tackle most jobs and find the solution that's right for someone rather than saying no. And that's kind of how we started. And the main reason I got into air conditioning is I like keeping people comfortable and keeping them happy. Yeah, that's predominantly the reason why we started REQ.
You hit it on the head then when you said keeping people comfortable and happy. That's something that air conditioning does give us. We're able to control our environment. Have you seen air conditioning change from when you first started till now in the sense of the products or in the sense of the different types of cooling that's available?
Since I started, the biggest change is the efficiencies of air conditioning. There's definitely been a lot of shifts in air conditioning, especially in how efficient they are and how the refrigerants they use that affect the environment.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you have an air conditioner that's over 10 years old, if you are replacing it, especially a ducted, with a new one that's 10 years newer, you've got a really big energy saving cost on it running.
Yeah.
The older it gets, the better it becomes. So we've replaced someone's air conditioner that was over 20 years old, and the savings on the electricity were paid off the new air conditioner within 3.5 years.
Wow, really?
Yes. Yeah. So we found that their power bill was about $1,300 to $1,400 a quarter, and after a quarter of running it with just a new air conditioner, it dropped down to $500, $600. We saved them over $1,000 in their power bill, and that was only because there was nothing wrong with the air conditioner they were running. Just the efficiencies are just that great.
So really, when you think about it, getting a new air conditioner in, if it is that old, is actually going to save you money in the long run.
Yeah, that's true. The manufacturers recommend replacement every 5 to 7 years, but I don't think that's a like it's not always affordable, but it's just something to consider how fast technology changes in our industry.
Yeah.
It might look the same, but just the way they run and how they operate just saves you money.
So why do you think it's important to have quality air conditioning in our homes?
So the importance of quality air conditioning in home is, one, to maintain a high quality level of air. Like if you have bad air quality and not great filtration, you'll get drowsy, sleepy, your home will start smelling.
Yeah.
So as much as it doesn't sound, like, air conditioning can help alleviate that, help maintain your high quality of air, remove certain, depends what filters you install, but you can remove bacteria from your air, keep the quality of air nice and high. Something we can offer. But the main thing is keeping you comfortable and happy at home. Being able to say, it's 10 degrees outside, but you've got a nice 25-degree home, or it's 45 outside and, you're 23, 24 degrees at home, you're comfortable, you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, that is so true. I know when it's, freezing and you put that bit of heat on, how you can change really quickly and become more happy, and even things like arthritis in people with the heat, it makes them feel more comfortable. They're not, seizing up. Or in the summer with the coldness that you have from your air conditioning, you're just feeling good. You're not worrying about the sweaty nights and trying to sleep. It's pretty good. Look, something you touched on was the filters. How often should we change those filters?
So it's recommended that we service or clean our filters at least every 12 months at home. Commercial use is even more frequent depending on the application, some as much as every month. But normally it's about a quarter to 12 months depending on the application. Yeah. It's very important we maintain the filters. One, obviously you get dirty air as they get blocked, but it actually reduces how much air travels through the air conditioner, which actually increases your power bill. Yeah. So not maintaining aircon actually costs you more money in the long term. So having a well-maintained air conditioner, even though it's like a car, the longer you leave it, the more likely something will go wrong. So you keep that regular maintenance going to prevent it from breaking down.
So should we get someone like yourself to come in and service that each year?
Yes, that's what's required and recommended by the manufacturers.
And is that a part of the warranty procedure as well?
Certain brands are starting to bring in required maintenance for proof of maintaining warranty, because they're getting more and more calls of air conditioners breaking within the warranty period. Yeah. Due to lack of maintenance. So there's nothing official yet, but they're slowly moving that direction. So we highly recommend maintaining your air conditioner every year to maintain that quality. So if you ever have a warranty call, you'll be covered.
Yeah, definitely. So what are the main differences between your home air conditioner to a commercial one? Is it just size?
No, they are in essence very similar, but the application that is applied, a home air conditioner might only run 20% of the day. Yeah. Unless, depending if you've got kids or stay at home, but on average it's about 20% of the day, whereas an office air conditioner is running pretty well 24/7. Maybe just the off hours that they turn on and off, but there's a lot of requirements in commercial with fresh air and the air flows that they run 24/7. So you can imagine they're running 5 times more than a domestic aircon. Yeah. So that's why the maintenances are more frequent
than your home air conditioner.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Look, the reason I bring that up is because REQ does both of this, don't you? You do the commercial side and the home side.
That's correct. Yeah, we do both commercial and residential.
So can you tell our listeners a little bit about the services that you do offer at REQ?
So we have primarily 3 services. So we've got maintenance. So that's just going to your home or your business, maintaining your aircon. We give you reports and all the information about your system. So you know what age it is, how the quality of it is, if you should be considering to, look, next 3-4 years, you might want to upgrade. Yep. We give you a detailed report. The same goes for commercial. We do repairs. So, if you've got a broken air conditioner, we can come and fix it for you. Or we do brand new installations from residential to commercial. So that's split systems, ducteds, evaporatives for commercial and domestic applications.
What would you say would be more popular, the ducted system or the wall-mounted ones?
It's definitely shifting towards ducteds, because I think people are starting to be surprised how much cheaper it is than it used to be. I remember when we were younger, my parents were looking at a ducted reverse cycle. They were looking at maybe 15 to 20 grand for the whole thing. Whereas for a standard home now, you can get it as low as $7,000 to $7,500.
Well, that's not a bad investment.
And that does your whole home. You've got it on the Wi-Fi. You can walk into your room, turn it on with your phone. So there's a lot of benefits in it, and it's not as expensive as people think it is.
So if you were going to get the ducted system and you were building a property, it'd be better and cheaper to get it done before it's actually finished and built, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there that are building homes, and what I've noticed is it's sort of a second thing that they think of. We'll just put in a couple of wall units, and then later on they think, no, we'll put the ducted in. And now, especially with the way homes are built, where the ceiling spaces are smaller, there's also limited areas that you can put things in. It'd just be better to do it before you actually build.
Yeah, that's right. If we can get in there before, we can hide a lot more features. You don't have to see as much, exposed work. Whereas if it's in construction, we can hide it, make it look a lot neater. And a lot of people do try to go with a cheaper split system, but it actually ends up costing them more in the long run. The ducted will add value to your house. If it's a rental, you've got some extra equity in the house to, charge your rent.
Yes, that's right. You can definitely, you got more features in the home, you got a better environment, more people are going to want that property, which means, of course, you can charge a bit more.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not as expensive as what people believe it is. So in the end of the day, they're shooting themselves in the foot, not getting it all installed on the spot. And then they ask the split system work a lot harder than it needs to, which then, again, costs more power to run.
Yeah. Now, if I already have a ducted system and I wanted to get it replaced, do I just replace the unit, or do you have to replace all the ventilation and things like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So that depends on the age of the air conditioner itself. Anything over 15, 20 years old, you want to replace both because the ducting does have a end of life span.
Okay.
But the big thing is we can go in the roof, inspect the quality of the duct. If it's fine, we'll keep it, just replace the unit, and then potentially upgrade the zone system. So that's using brand new zones. So that's what gives you access on your phone for your rooms, which is really awesome what you can do with that now. They got, geo mapping. So if you leave your home within 5Ks, it'll turn your aircon off. If you're within home within 5Ks, it'll turn it on for you.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So you can even set up temperatures in each bedroom if you like, which is really popular, I find, with families with very young kids where they're worried about the temperature of their room.
Yeah.
So they generally will go for the temperature sensor, which is an AirTouch 5, where they put a temperature sensor near their baby.
Yeah.
And the aircon will maintain, say, 23, 24 degrees in that room all the day, nonstop, overnight, summer and winter.
Now, that's very good, because especially for the zoning, because, I hear a lot of people say sometimes with air conditioning, I don't want to be cold and my husband wants to be warm. We're in different rooms. We've got to have the same temperature. But that's not the case now, because it can zone in on different temperatures, which makes the living in the room more comfortable for everyone.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely does do that.
So what brands do you work with there, Philip?
So at REQ, we've chosen to, on the ducted side, we've decided to choose the 3 brands that we work with predominantly. So we work with Samsung, which is an entry-level product. It's quite well named. There were not many issues with it. It's just a well-priced product. Then we work with either Daikin or Mitsubishi Electric, as they are probably the two best brands out there on the market, in my opinion.
Yeah. From
the data I've seen and what they can produce, they are great to work with.
And what about with the wall-mounted ones, that the split system ones?
With the splits, we cater to what the client needs. So we do a lot of property management. So a lot of the time they prefer something a little bit cheaper. So we like to work with Caden. They're actually made they're made by Reese Plumbing, the group.
Oh, yes.
So they're actually not made in Australia, but designed for Australia. Best thing about them is we offer you a 7-year warranty. So property managers and landlords really like the fact that you get an extra 2-year warranty for no extra cost.
Yeah, that's really good. And that's something we should touch on, is that you do look after property management. So therefore, if there's any property managers or real estate agents out there, you can get someone like REQ to come in and know that, one call, you're speaking to the right person, they can go out to whatever property needed and do the job for you.
Yeah, that's right. And we also offer the reporting for the landlord. They get photos, they understand how old the systems are. So they've got all the information about the asset or the air conditioner they've got in their home.
And once again, that's saving you money as well, because, if you're going out there and looking and making sure it's all serviced, then you're not going to have a problem where you need to replace that unit early.
That's right, yeah. So we'll give you advice. Like a lot of good advice we'll give you is we've noticed that the compressor or the unit's not running as efficiently as it should. In the next 12 to 24 months, you'll be looking at replacing your air conditioner.
And that gives time for the landlord to save up if necessary, adjust the rent later on if the tenant's leaving. That's a really good service you got there. Look, if I wanted to get my unit serviced or repaired, what are the wait times? What am I looking for? So if I give you a call, what happens?
So when you give us a call our 1-800 number, you've got a selection. So if it is a breakdown or a repair, we generally we do prioritize them over our maintenance clients. So because the maintenance isn't a high priority item, we book them in and then we can move them around. But if you have an issue with your air conditioner, generally we can be there either on the day or within 48 hours, depending on the time of the year. During summer, it does become a little bit harder.
Yes.
But we are always open and transparent with our customers. We'll go, hey, look, we can get there in 48 hours. Just let us know if you want us to proceed, or it might be 3 days. And we're just always open with that.
Well, that's great because, there are some companies out there and we've used them. Everyone knows that I've had a background in real estate where it's been up to a week before I can get someone. And it's not because they're busy. It's just because their customer service is just letting them down. But at REQ, this is something you pride yourself on, is your customer service. So tell us about your customer service. Why is it so important to you?
Well, it's very important for me to keep the customer happy because they're the ones that give us the feedback and reviews. So it's important for me to always be in contact with my customer to know if we have anything we can improve or do better. So I like to do just a full service with my customers. Like from property managers, we do it differently. We have direct contacts that if they ever have any problems, they have a direct contact for them that they can deal with rather than just going through the admin team. So they have a direct contact. They only deal with that one person and they'll tell them how everything's running. With our domestic customers, we like to be in front of them. We have to show them what we're trying to do, explain everything to them. I hate taking shortcuts or cheaping out on things that could save them a little bit of money but then cost them a lot later in the future.
Yes.
So just a little bit on that. A lot of people will replace their old evaporative units with a ducted reverse cycle. And they'd always ask us, can we keep the same outlets?
Yeah.
Which you can't because the air conditioners operate completely different.
Oh, yes.
But you get a lot of people who want to save money and reuse those outlets, which we can do, but then you end up paying more in power. The aircon doesn't work as well. So we always get the complaints of coming back, this isn't working properly. It's because they haven't installed it correctly. So that's that's what I like to educate my customers on. Sometimes we might not get the job, but it's making sure that the customer gets the right thing when we do the job.
Yeah, that's very important because I suppose when you've got existing outlets, existing air vents, they're not going to seal with what you're using, or they might just not be big enough. Some of them are quite small, some might be too big, and it won't work efficiently. So it's great that you do that, and that's great customer service to be able to educate your clients to make sure that they're getting the right unit, they're getting the right service, and more importantly, that they're getting a response. So, I really take my hat off to you because not a lot of businesses do that, Philip, and it's really great that you do. Another question I've got when it comes to air conditioning, and especially the split systems, I know a lot of people these days, when they're building houses, they have an open plan. They put one system in. That's not going to really do, is it?
No. It won't cover the house. Again, it's just going back to them either getting the wrong information from who they're getting their information from, or they're just trying to save as much money as possible, which, again, won't save you money in the long term. When you're running a small air conditioner 100% flat out, it's going to cost you a lot more money than having a bigger one and running it at where it's meant to be. So, we find that every now and then, but not so much. We find that people seem to take our advice and we give them the correct advice and deviate from what they've been told they should do.
So, Philip, tell us about your staff. Now, you've got some staff that you have, so tell us about them.
Okay. I have 12 team members that all work together. We've actually got a dedicated service division. So they're the ones that will be going out doing the maintenance, the repairs, maintaining the air conditioning. And then, so with them, I have Braden, who's the main service guy there, and Martin, who's who's also part of operations. He's got a plethora of experience in this. So he's always going to give you another great deal of advice and recommendations that we can help you with that. And then on the install side, so these are the guys that will be coming to your house to install your split systems, your ducteds. We have a couple of guys there. We have Braden is the service guy. Braden is the installations leader.
Yep.
And he runs the show. So he'll come introduce himself. He makes sure that the whole place is spotless when we start, when we finish.
Yeah.
We put drop sheets down everywhere so we don't scratch any of your furniture. If something needs to be moved, we'll let you know. We'll move it and we'll put it back in the same spot. So that's something we really pride ourselves in. Like when we do an installation for you, once we leave, it's like we've left your house in a better state than it was.
Well, that's great.
So on top of that, you'll have communications with our sales guys. So that's Moses or Jack, and they'll be there with you at the end, showing you how to use your air conditioner and just showing you around how everything will work. It's
really a family environment. You've got a great net team there.
Yeah.
And we were talking before, and you go all over Adelaide and even into the regional areas.
Yeah, we have done some big trips. So we've done some air conditioning work in Keith. We've actually done a ducted for someone in Keith, which is a pretty cool experience. We've got a few jobs out in Sellex, Gawler. We've been as far as Whyalla, but that was a little bit of a commercial job. We've actually just finishing up a job in Port Pirie as well.
Wow. That's all over the place, definitely.
Yeah.
And those areas get nice and warm.
Yeah, well, that's right. We want to make sure everyone feels comfortable and want to help where we can, you know.
So, Philip, why should our listeners contact REQ Air Conditioning if they're looking to get service, maintenance, or they need a new system installed?
Well, the short answer is you're not going to get much bullshit from us. We're just going to be honest. We're going to tell you what you need, how we can help you, and then make that decision. Really, that's probably the best way to describe it.
I like it. There's no sweet talk. It is real talk. It's all about getting the customer the right information, the right unit, and the right service. Philip, if people want to contact you, if our listeners want to find out more, if they need maintenance, they need installation, how can they contact you?
Sure. There's two ways. One is our website, www.reqrefrigeration.com.au, or they could give us a call on 1-800-2020-73.
Philip, I'd like to thank you for coming in and talking to us today about REQ Air Conditioning. And we hope that we can get you back to talk again on the Adelaide project. So thanks so much for coming in.
No worries. Thank you.
We have been speaking with Filip Krawiec from REQ Air Conditioning. This podcast is brought to you by Podcast City. If you'd like to find out more information about starting your own podcast, from planning your podcast to recording, editing, and distributing your very own podcast, just go to podcastcity.com.au. I'm Ron Fiedler for the Adelaide Project Business Spotlight. Until next time, bye for now.